Hello, Firebirds! The topic of this video is character counts, and what that means is we're going to talk about what are the student expectations in and around Fairmont. Now, before we get into that, we have a special note to give you from our school resource officer. Our school resource officer is Officer Spinks. He is a policeman with the Kettering Police Department. Now, you may be wondering, what is the role of a school resource officer? Now, there are four priorities Officer Spinks has, and the first one is the safety of everyone in the building. Officer Spinks handles a lot of different things, but in particular, he wants to keep everyone safe within the building. Second, he aids students in different studies. He helps students who are interested in going into law enforcement or interviewing him for different projects they have within the building. Third is have fun. Officer Spinks is a very good dancer, and if you pay attention at homecoming, you might just see his skills. But lastly, if forced, Officer Spinks will act as a police officer in an enforcement capacity. Now, this is not what he wants to do, so he's given us a list of things to avoid so he doesn't have to do that. So, first of all, what not to do. Number one is vaping. Vaping is not allowed on school grounds. If you are caught, you could be receiving criminal charges. Drug possession, fighting, drinking, and vandalism. All of these things are what not to do, so you don't have to see Officer Spinks dealing with a criminal law enforcement role. Now, if you are caught in one of these different things, the consequences could range from suspension, expulsion, and criminal charges. Just because we are at school doesn't mean criminal charges cannot be filed, because they will if necessary.
Now let's transition to the second part of character counts, in which we discuss the expectations for students and how we act in and around Fairmont. Now before we get to that, we need to remember that we are Firebirds, and we are responsible, we are respectful, we are safe, and we are kind. All of these expectations are derived from these 4 points. Let's first start by looking at hallways. In this next skit, I'm going to show you, look for different ways of things not to do. Everything's going to go wrong. And then we'll discuss how to do it correctly.
So hard. I didn't have to say any of it. I couldn't find the answer.
Are you paying attention? Did you see what they did wrong? There are 6 key things from this video. Hopefully you picked up on them. First one, public display of affection. We don't want to be seeing that in the hallways. Next, walking wide in the hall. There are more people trying to get to class besides you and your friend group. Walking on the wrong side. Typically, students are going to walk on the right side of the hallway as they go down. Don't be the person to go against the flow of traffic. Blocking the hallway, tying a shoe. If you need to stop for any reason, try and get to the side so you're not blocking traffic. Blasting music. Again, there's more people in the hallway besides you, and they may not like your music choice. And lastly, flailing your book bag. Be careful, there's other people besides you. Now that we've seen what they've done wrong, let's watch how it's supposed to go.
Taylor Swift. Did you go to the Taylor Swift concert?
I did not. Did you really?
Of course, the best part.
Now that we've talked about hallways, let's talk about the bathrooms. Again, watch this short skit and see if you can figure out what they're doing wrong.
Gotta go.
This may look like a common bathroom. There are quite a few things that they were doing wrong. First of all, someone was vaping. As we saw in our message from Officer Spinks, vaping is not allowed on school grounds. Next, someone was cutting in line. Other people need to use the restroom too, not just you, so please be respectful of others. Taking a long time. Students should only be taking 5 minutes for a bathroom pass. We don't need to be taking a lot of time because we're missing out on class. Chatting instead of using the bathroom. The bathroom isn't a place to socialize. If you want to talk to a friend, you can do it in the commons or in the hallway. Sitting on your phone. Again, we're not wasting time. We need to get back to class. There are other things to do besides sit on our phone. Lastly, having a meltdown. If you're having a meltdown or need to talk to somebody, go to your counselor. They're there to help. Now let's take a look at what this should have been.
Hey, are you guys in line?
Yeah. How was English?
It was okay.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Let's move on to a place you're going to be every single day, the classroom. Let's take a look at this skit and see what not to do.
You're on.
Good morning, class. Today we'll be learning about some English literature from the 16th century.
This is so stupid. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm out of here.
So let's talk about what they did wrong. First of all, when a teacher gives you work in class, putting work away when time is given is a bad idea. Teachers try to use time as best they can in class, and when someone gives you time to work, you should take advantage of it. Sleeping in class. If you are tired, talk to your teacher, but just sleeping in class is not the way to go. Interrupting class. If you'd like to talk to your teacher, just raise your hand and see if you can have a conversation, but don't interrupt. Getting on your cell phone without permission. Upon entering a classroom, cell phones should be put away unless you're given permission by your teacher. If your teacher asks you to put it away, put it away. Lastly, throwing a fit. If there's something you don't want to do, don't throw a fit. Talk to your teacher about it. Your teacher is there to help you, but discuss it. Don't just throw things. Now let's take a look at what this scene should look like.
So for the rest of this class, I'm going to give you guys some time to do your homework, which I'm going to pass out right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you.
I'm a little confused on number one. Do you think you could help me out?
Of course.
Thank you.
In high school, grades matter. So here are some tips for academic success. First, do the work. If teachers assign you work, just do it. Try your best and do the work. Second, participate in class. Teachers like to have discussions and talk about the different subjects. Participate. You'll get more out of it. Third, ask for help. If you're stuck on a problem and need help, ask. If you don't understand a concept, ask for help. Your teachers are there to help you. Lastly, use your resources. Here at Fairmont, we have a writing lab to help you with your writing and after-school study tables to help with math. Now let's transition to the lunchroom. So again, here's our last skit. Let's see what not to do.
Guys, that girl kissed. She kissed my boyfriend. Give me that. What are you?
As you can see, there were a lot of things wrong with that scenario. So let's list out all of them. So the first one was a backpack seat. When you come into the cafeteria, don't take up 2 seats. Everyone gets a seat, but don't have one for your backpack. Next, being rowdy. There was a lot of examples of being rowdy, so I don't need to give any specifics. Throwing food or things at each other. Again, we want to keep lunch civilized, but not throw things at each other. Running. There's a lot of people in the lunchroom. Running, you could run into somebody, knock someone over, things could go bad. Dragging chairs. If you need to move a chair from one place to the other, Pick it up, don't drag it. And lastly, yelling. There is a lot of people at lunch. There are others around you. So yelling makes everything worse. Be aware of those around you. Now let's take a look at what this should have been.
I have a salad for lunch today.
Can I have a chicken sandwich, please?
Oh yeah, I can keep it.
Salad?
Sorry. Hey guys, I'm gonna go throw my trash away.
Yes.
All right, Firebirds, there's two more important things that we need to discuss. First one is language. Now, obviously, we can't have a skit of students saying bad things, so let's just talk about language in general. Fairmont High School is a place where all students are accepted and respected, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, gender, or sexuality. Please be kind and accepting, and remember to treat others the way you want to be treated. Remember, Firebirds are kind. Now, even though we say that, some people are going to say some inappropriate things, so you need to know when to talk to an adult. That would be a teacher, an administrator, or a counselor. First, if you feel threatened, please see an adult immediately. If you're struggling with mental health, or if someone tells you they have thoughts of self-harm, if any of these things happen, please see an adult right away. Let's wrap up by talking about everyone's favorite subject, the dress code. So this next excerpt comes directly from the student handbook. It says, Kettering-Fairmont High School is a place of work for the adults and preparation for college/career for the students. We are dedicated to creating a campus where teaching and learning will occur within a professional environment. The purpose of the dress code is to help maintain professionalism within the school. Now, there are some specifics when it comes to the dress code. First, clothing should be respectful and be without vulgar, suggestive, and/or offensive elements. Keep that potty humor at home. Second, clothes should be without promotion of alcohol, tobacco, weapons, drugs, and/or gang-related affiliations or symbols. Third, clothing must cover the chest, stomach, back, buttocks, and undergarments. Remember that this is a school and not a gym. Here are some examples of what not to do. The example on the left, you can see his chest. Now, you may have gotten some great gains over the summer, but still, this doesn't follow dress code. In the middle example, you can see his undergarments. Even though they're sticking out of the bottom, that doesn't follow dress code. And lastly, you can see this individual's stomach. Now, if the jacket were zipped up and the stomach were covered, it would follow dress code. But in this case, it does not. Fourth, there are no hats, blankets, or costumes. However, hats may be worn for religious reasons. You can discuss this with your unit principal. Think of high school as preparing for your future job. You want to dress for success, and high school is a great time to practice that. Now, in conclusion, Firebirds, we are responsible, we are respectful, we are safe, and we are kind. If you have any questions about anything covered in this video, see your principal. Have a great year, Firebirds.